What did I think of it? Tremendous loss, and it'll take a lot of comeback, but I'm convinced that the leadership there is going to get the job done, and how we can help them in Washington, D.C., I'll be glad to consider those opportunities.
What kind of federal help do you think they can possibly get?
Right now, it would either have to be through the grant process or through
the Senator Grassley said. It's a shame to see kind of this was a national museum. I mean, it wasn't just for Cedar, it was the whole check and sold out to people in America. And they came from all over the country here. They were fully overseas. So it's got to be rebuilt. They did a great job of saving it. They did a great job of cleaning it out in a hurry. And it can be restored. There's no doubt about that. But a lot of the things, the exhibits and things like that, have to be.
I think emphasizing the National Museum part of it is that the Czech government and maybe the Slovak government is very interested in helping with the rebuilding as well. And that speaks not only of its national fame, but its international fame.
What were you trying to accomplish by coming here to tour the museum?
Well, I mean, for me, that was the first time I've been there, and just to get a feel for it, it's good for us to see it, and to be right there and know just what the parameters are, just how much needs to be done, and then for me to see the Czech village and to see the devastation there. That kind of goes part and parcel with it, the Czech village and the museum kind of go hand in hand. So I'm hopeful that through whatever resources that we can help the city and the state to help that whole Czech village recover and get back. It's a great tourist attraction. It's great for the economic development of Cedar Rapids and Lincoln, this whole border area. So, this was just a nice thing to have. It was good for the economy.
You understand about 35,000 people come here every year to tour. That's not just beneficial to the museum, that's beneficial to the entire community. Those people are going to spend a lot of money.
As for the federal courthouse here, they were already planning to move out here, and now it's kind of a certain courthouse for
to get money to build a new courthouse is the best investment for the taxpayers. And the sooner we get it, the better. And the sooner we get GSA to tell us the timetable that we need for us to make a decision, the better off we are. But I hope that it's pretty common sense that when we're going to build a new courthouse just down the road a couple of years, to speed that up and spend the money on the new courthouse as opposed to wasting it here.
Some people, though, were saying they were supposed to trade this with the city.
Yes.
Why would the city want this building now when it's destroyed?
Well, I think GSA, that's the federal agency fixing it up. I mean, they're not going to leave it just like this. They're going to be repairing it, fixing it up. There's still a lot of things that happen out of here of a federal nature. We still have they're out of here now, but the marshal's office was here. That's a federal function that needs to be refurbished. So it's not just the courts, there are other things. So when they get that back up, then when they trade with the city, then the city will have something that they can use.
So do you see the federal government as bringing this back up to kind of the standard it was before they turned it over?
I don't know about that. And that's up to GSA. I'm not certain, because we are going to build a new courthouse. And we did, at least last week, before we left, we got a number in the bill of $182 million for this courthouse. So that's going to be in the next supplemental that will pass, hopefully, sometime in September before they knock over.
So do you see the city getting a new courthouse?
It looks pretty certain to me, and particularly since the Judicial Council brought it up on the emergency list, as opposed to just being on a priority where it was about 4th or 5th, which probably would have been another 3 or 4 years away. This gives us an opportunity, because it is an emergency, to bring it up, and it also gives an opportunity to save some money that would have been spent on this building that maybe doesn't have to be spent on it to quite the extent if it's going to be, as it has been traded to the city for bare land where the courthouse is going to be built, the new courthouse is going to be built.
Anything else? Cool. Are we going to go through this whole thing and get a fight?
If I misspoke for you,
no, but I just, again, want to emphasize that the entire Iowa delegation, within 2 weeks of this flood, I mean, the waters were still here, went to work, and we got $2.65 billion in a bill in July. Now, and we got $300 million for community development block grants. We got $100 million for economic development. We got more money for FEMA, agriculture. All that money's been there since July. So if there's a problem in getting money here, somebody ought to be asking HUD, where's the money? Why isn't it getting here?
I think within a few days, and hopefully even yet today, HUD was going to announce some money to be released, but I haven't heard from my office that that's been done yet. And so maybe 100 million or 300 million will be released. That's what we were hoping to hear.
And we put a lot of money in FEMA. And so FEMA's not hurting for money. They've got, well, I would be safe in saying they probably got around at least $4 to $5 billion that they can use. Now we are going to appropriate some more money. I wish we could have done it, as Senator Grassley said last week, but we'll get it done in September. But we have enough money in the pipeline now to do things through August and September. Well, I want to get that money appropriated for in July so people could plan. They could plan in August, plan in September what they need to do. And this is a little bit of a setback on that. But we'll get that in September. And again, just like Katrina, 3 years after Katrina, we're still putting money into Katrina. I can assure you that next spring, we're going to have to put more money in for the disasters here. As we get more data in, more things that are affected, we're going to be adding some money as we go along. I just know that that's going to happen.
And as for the buyouts, that's one thing that's a real hot topic here.
Yeah.
People are hearing that it could be 2 years before they could get their home bought out with federal money and such. Do you have any way to speed that up or give people a clearer answer sooner?
Well, I hear that a lot too about the buyout. And I've just become aware of one problem that we're going to look at, and that is that FEMA has said, I've heard that FEMA may not be able to buy out until next March or April. But there are people that could get out now and go out and buy a house for the winter, that kind of thing. Now, some communities could come up and buy out these houses. But as I understand it, the law won't allow FEMA to reimburse the communities. And there's something wrong. And hopefully we can jiggle that or do something to allow communities with winter coming on to be able to buy out the worst disaster houses, the ones you know are never going to be rebuilt, and then have FEMA reimburse them. I don't know if we get it done, but we'll sure try.
Comment on the buyout?
Comment on it that the normal procedure is for the federal government to have some deference to the communities to come up with a plan, and then the communities get the state to approve the plan, and then the federal government steps in according to that plan, but not in its entirety. It would be based on the amount of money that's